Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 3 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a subscriber class review. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at a tactical Pharo class from Wetherill. I selected this comment, I just kind of read through them and tried to find a very interesting class, and this one just stood out to me from Wetherill. It says Pharo, Quick Draw, Stock Suppressor, Ghost, Flak Jacket, Tactical Mask, and Scavenger, and he said the class is for any core game mode and designed for rushing with Suppressor and Ghost, and can't be stopped with Flak Jacket and Tactical Mask. It was definitely not the type of class that I normally would have played, and that's kind of what attracted me to it. The whole point of the subscriber series was to try things a little bit outside of my comfort zone, learn more about the game, be able to teach you more about the game, and maybe be able to help some of you with your classes. So let's take a look at how this looks in game. So first thing he recommended was a Pharo submachine gun, which is good. I happen to like that one, but the attachments were a little bit unusual. We are going to be going with Suppressor, Stock, and a Quick Draw grip. I'm running Swindler camo just for fun. That does take up a primary gunfighter slot, and our perks also take up a wildcard slot because we've got Flak Jacket, Ghost. We're also rocking Scavenger and Tactical Mask, and that's pretty much the whole class. However, the way it plays is just not what I was expecting, and it's definitely not how I play Call of Duty, but I guess that's a good thing because it's a learning experience for me and you. As Finn suggested, Ghost, Flak Jacket, and Tactical Mask makes you immune to UAVs and all types of grenades. This was immediately fun right off the bat to just be able to ignore things that I'm usually trying to counterplay. I'm trying to predict where I'm going on UAV or trying to shoot it down, or like I'm trying to move forward and then take steps back to confuse the enemies because they're predicting my movement is what I meant to say. Dodging grenades, trying not to get stunned or flashed or that sort of thing. With this setup, I can just completely ignore that and rush right in and do whatever it is I want, and as long as I stay moving, they are never going to see me, and they're never going to blow me up or slow me down, which is very good. The Pharo is a fantastic submachine gun and is one of my personal favorites. I think this is the first gun in Black Ops 3 that I enjoyed using aside from the Kuda. It's one of the first ones that I managed to get decent with, and it's good in all situations. It's good in pubs, good in competitive, good in S&D, objective, whatever it is you want to play, TDM, and it can work surprisingly well at long range too. I've been able to win some long range gunfights with the Pharo that you wouldn't really think you could do with submachine guns just because of how accurate it is. And I will say that stock is awesome on submachine guns now after the most recent buff because you're moving at 100% and you don't have any slowdown while you're shooting, so you can do a lot of sidestepping. Quick draw is good too. I put an asterisk there on that stock being awesome on submachine guns because that's one of the changes I'm going to recommend later. Even though it's awesome, I think there's something I can do better than the stock, but it's certainly not terrible as is. Finally, I never have to pick up guns with Scavenger. I always have ammo for my primary weapon, which is another perk that I don't use very often because I'm the in-depth guy. I try to like master all these guns, so I like to be able to think that I can pick up anything and use it just as good as my primary, but it was very relieving for once to just have my primary gun good to go and not have to fool with anything else on the entire map. As I was saying before, it was really fun to just be immune to things that I normally have to outplay. It allowed me to put my mind to use in other places because there's all these sort of little mini games that you're playing all the time. Is there going to be a grenade coming here? Do they see me on radar? Do they know where I'm at? They've heard my gun shoot. They're going to be coming in from this direction and that direction. Since I don't have to worry with these things, I can put my mind to use in other places. I can worry about flanking. I can focus on aiming better. I don't have to worry about getting shot in the back as often. I don't have to move around the map quite as chaotically. I can move it more methodically, and that lends to the tactical sort of gameplay that Finn was recommending for this class. As for what I think this is best with, I think this class is ideal for objective modes. It is really, really good for hardpoint, domination, even CTF or something like that, or demolition, because you can't get blown up, you can't get stunned off the objective. And in those modes, that's where people are really earning the most UAVs and the most haters, and that, well, haters don't help you, UAVs really, and Ghost keeps you off the radar. It's also modes where very few people use silencers, so using a silencer means that you will not be attracting very much attention to yourself, and they're not necessarily looking to kill you. So as long as you stay on flank routes and stay smart, you're not going to have people hunting you down. I don't think it's that great for team deathmatch or search and destroy because the Pharo with the silencer does not have the best range or time to kill, and Flak Jacket and Attack Mask are a lot less useful in these modes because these modes are more about straight up gunfights. And I will say that the class, despite being very good for capturing objectives and being played in objective modes, is also pretty good at spawn flanking. Again, in objective modes, respawn ones, where you can kind of run up to their spawn and hose people. Because you have Ghost and a Suppressor, they're never really going to know where you are radar-wise, and they're never going to see you coming, so you can get up pretty close and screw them up, hold down a checkpoint, at least throw off the team and create a massive distraction for the rest of your team to do something useful if you're not playing on Team Potato, as I often am. There are some weaknesses to this class. This is where we're going to start transitioning into things that I don't like. It has no afterburner or blast suppressor, which means that you'll need to stay mostly boots on the ground. It is Black Ops 3, so you can't get away without some aerial gunfights, without some wall running and advanced maneuvers. I probably did it more in this gameplay than I should have, just because that's the way I enjoy playing these games, and old habits die hard. But this class is really designed for a more boots on the ground player that isn't going to be doing that much sort of parkouring, because you're not going to get your boost back very fast without afterburner, and without blast suppressor you're going to be constantly pinging the map so everybody will know where you're at. And there are 3 major weaknesses to this class, which I will try to fix in most of my suggestions. You have no anti-air equipment, no tacticals, and no blast suppressor. The anti-air equipment became very, very obvious to me in one of the first gameplays I got. We played really well the first round and got good gameplay, but there was a guy playing domination, and he managed to juggle objectives and survive long enough to call in a mothership and then wraps and start like looping these streaks on us. And with no anti-air equipment, I was unable to do much about this. I also was not immune to any of the aircraft, so I pretty much got wrecked for a very long period of time. You also don't have any tactical or lethal grenades, which is a little bit unfortunate because that's one of my favorite things about Scavenger, is refilling those so that I can constantly throw them and knock people off of objectives, or at least stun or flash rooms before I run in. So I feel like Scavenger isn't really being optimized very well without having tacticals or lethals. And finally, no blast suppressor is a little bit surprising on a class that is so stealth oriented, or maybe that's just this person's prerogative because they don't like jumping or boosting around, but I like running it because I hate pinging the minimap. So I'm actually not going to recommend adding a black cell or an anti-aircraft piece of equipment to the class, because I feel that most players already have an anti-aircraft class. Like when a Wraith comes in, or Mothership, or something like a Cerberus, they have a default class that they swap to that already has like an LMG with FMJ and a black cell, or a Siege or something like that that they can use to just spam the really annoying streaks. So I'm going to recommend, I'm working on the other 2. Improvement option number 1 is to remove stock, and this will also allow you to remove primary gunfighter and free up 2 slots. And this will allow you to take a tactical grenade and a lethal grenade as well. Since you're primarily playing this in core objective modes, having tactical and lethal grenades are lifesavers. They're godsends. They're very, very nice to have, very effective in a lot of situations. And I feel this complements Scavenger very well, also because Scavenger will refill them. Now, if you're wondering, okay, you said stock was awesome on SMGs because you move at 100% speed and you have no penalty while firing, why remove it? And the short answer there is that your sidestepping speed with some machine guns is already something like 80%, so you're getting a relatively minor buff with stock. Even though you do get put up to your full maximum potential, the difference there isn't as great as it is on assault rifles or light machine guns or something like that. So if I had to make an improvement for this class, I would say that stock is still not as necessary on submachine guns as it is on other weapons, even though it is very nice. Next up, you can take a different route, a more aggressive gun-on-gun route. You can do the same thing with removing stock and therefore freeing up primary gunfighter, and you can take blast suppressor instead. Now you'll have to take blast suppressor and tactical mask, and that'll tie up another wild card. But with blast suppressor, this will allow you to climb, boost, slide, and do other things more freely without having to worry about being shot in the back or being pinged on the radar or just being visible. It'll also make you more quiet so that people won't be able to sound horde you as easily. I don't hear footsteps as well in this game as I do hear people boosting around. Anytime I hear a boost anywhere near me and none of my teammates are near me, I'm immediately hunting people. So blast suppressor is one of my favorite perks, and getting rid of stock I think is worth it to pick up blast suppressor, and I think that that would also improve this class. So it just kind of depends on how you want to go. You can either, I think dropping stock in the primary gunfighter is the smartest thing to do, and then you can either take tacticals, lethals, or take blast suppressor instead to improve this class. Guys, that's it for this subscriber class in-depth episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, you can like, favorite, and subscribe. subscribe, or you can leave a comment with your full class, perks, and how it's supposed to be used and any additional info for the next episode, because the next episode is going to be based on whatever it is one of you recommend to me. I'm going to pick your class, put your screenshot, your name, and play with it and recommend some changes, or maybe I'll just say it's awesome if it's that good. So please leave a comment with your class and I'll review it. The previous episode was on J-Hub's Varix ICR1 class, and the next episode again is going to be a subscriber class review. Drifter out.